Hey, good Friday morning, everybody. It's day 75, and it's Friday, my second favorite day of the week. I can't wait. Weekend's my favorite time of the week, man. I mean, who can disagree with that, right? So, for those of you that are following me new, whether it's on Facebook or Instagram or YouTube, you know, what I do here is I just try to give out these daily shout outs of gratitude, of appreciation. Sometimes there's some scripture involved. I'm not trying to convert you or tell you that, you know, what you believe in and what you're doing is wrong or anything like that. That's not the purpose of this channel. I went through some really tough times the last several years, and I made a decision. I can do one of two things. I can either wallow in self-pity and feel sorry for myself, tuck tail and give up and throw in the towel and say, hey, screw everybody. I'm just, you know, nothing, you know, ever going to pan out right. I've made some bad decisions. I can't seem to right this ship, or do something about it. And 2 years ago, I began a practice daily of giving shout out of gratitudes to people that were in my Rolodex. They were friends, family, coworkers, relatives, people that I've come across on the street, just talking to and stuff, just to practice gratitude, even in the worst times of my life, because I found that, you know, when things are going well, it's easy to be happy and grateful and appreciative of life. But your true, in my opinion, my true character will show when things aren't going so well. You know, what is my attitude like when you're in the valley, you know, when things aren't going as well as you'd like them to go, or you've done so much damage with your poor decision-making processes with friends and family that you kind of been kicked out, you know, you're like, they don't want anything to do with you. And I've been through all of that. So this year, what I decided to do is give out shout outs of the daily, just, you know, pump me up, so to speak. You know, sometimes the message has a little scripture in it. I'm not trying to convert anybody, so I don't want you to worry, but I do talk about my higher power of authority often. I talk about, you know, just thoughts of the day, man, just to get you pumped up, because Sundays are kind of crazy, you know. You don't want to go to bed. You don't want to get up Monday morning and go to work. But what do we do Sunday night to prepare for Monday, and rinse and repeat every day to ensure when you wake up, you feel like you're being shot out of a cannon and having a great productive day, moving the needle, keeping the ball rolling down the road. So one of the things I was thinking about is, you know, this concept of darkness and light. You know, darkness and light cannot exist at the same time. And there's a kind of an interesting analogy there if you think about it. You know, if you just expand your thought process with me a little bit, you know, you might look at darkness and light as good and bad, you know, good versus evil. Well, there's some sanity behind that, because the reality is, for anything that exists, there's a polar opposite. You know, you cannot have you can't have light and dark existing at the same time. It's impossible. Polar opposites. You cannot have war without peace at the same time. It's impossible. You cannot have pain and happiness. Well, maybe you can. Maybe you can have pain and happiness at the same time. Sometimes pain is happy. I don't know. I'm sure there's somewhere in there, but you get my point. So what I'm trying to say here is that, you know, when you have decisions to make, we have decisions every single day, because there's this great battle for the control of our mind going on right this second. Right this second, you're trying to think and decide, what's my next step going to be? Is it going to be something good and productive? Or is it going to be something that's going to be not so good and counterproductive? Am I going to get up and go to the gym, or I'm going to sit down and watch TV and eat Twinkies? You know, am I going to push the last 5 minutes of the day at 4:55 before I clock out and make 4 more phone calls to try to get a deal in before the end of the week? Or am I just going to cruise the last 5 minutes and check out and kind of sneak out a minute early? You know, all of these decisions are based on the battle for the control of our mind, right? You're going to be doing good things or not so many good things. So what I often say is this: sometimes, you know, you make a decision, like I've had to do, to make amends and ask for forgiveness to a lot of people that, you know, I may not have held up to my end of the bargain in relationships with in the past. And then there's other times when that's the right decision, right? It's not just to make me feel good, to allow me to forgive myself, but it's also to ask for forgiveness for the other person and let them know that there's remorse and a need for them to know that, you know, I'm sorry for what I may have said or done, and see if we can't continue moving the needle together in some form of a relationship, right? So that's making amends and asking for forgiveness. So the other thing is, I can also choose not to do it and just ignore them. So there's that's darkness and light. You know, they can't coexist at the same time. I can't do both of them. I mean, they got to do one or the other. One appears to be good and one another's not so good. But here's a situation where, you know, when you go into the Bible and you start reading some scripture, or you ask your higher power of authority for wisdom, you know, and he'll give it to you in abundance if you ask him for that. You know, what I do, and I came to the conclusion once while working a program saying, well, I can do that. I can ask for forgiveness. I can ask, you know, for us to move forward in a coexisting world where we can get along with one another, you know, and forgive one another. But on the other hand, there are times when if I was to go and do that to someone, it might conjure up so many bad memories, so many hurtful feelings that it would be counterproductive. So in those situations, guys and gals, if you're in a situation where you've been wondering if you should go make amends, I'll tell you to go do it. Do it as long as it doesn't create an environment where it will harm the other person spiritually, mentally, physically, emotionally, and all that stuff. So what I mean by that is if you're going to go and apologize and ask for somebody's forgiveness and, you know, ask them if we can just move the needle and kind of coexist together and forgive one another, but it's going to harm them in some form or another because of the bad memories it's going to bring up, then don't do it. Don't do that. Just do what we call making living amends, where you work forward every single day doing and being the best person you can, because there's nothing you can do about yesterday. You know, you can ask for forgiveness, but in this case, we can't because it's going to bring up and harbor harmful memories for that person. It's going to do more harm for them than it's going to be for you. It might make you feel better because you got it off your chest, but you don't want to hurt that other person. So what you do is you start demonstrating on to that person how good things are going to be moving forward based on your words, your actions, and your results, and make living amends moving forward. Okay. So, anyways, I thought I'd share that out there with you. I just kind of bounced around a little bit today. Had a little coffee, kind of a little wired right now, but I hope you guys are doing well. Be brave, be strong, go get what's yours.